Hey guys, time for another Hopper hot take. I've had people asking me when I was going to do another one. So what is Hopper going to be hot about today? Well, we could easily talk about the heat. I mean, it's 100 degrees out here in Dallas at the moment. But let's instead go back into the gym and let's talk about AAU basketball for a minute. All right? July is a big month for AAU basketball and club basketball. But parents, I really want you to think about, how is the AAU taking care of my kids? Do they have an athletic trainer, and what kind of services is that athletic trainer able to provide? Okay. But the more important one I think we want to talk about is emergency preparedness in AAU. And I have this study here from the Journal of... Dang it. Well, it's a sports medicine journal. I don't know. But anyway, Clinical Journal of Sports Medicine from 2022 came out in November. Emergency preparedness for sudden cardiac arrest in amateur athletic union basketball teams. An opportunity to improve outcomes in higher risk athletes. So what did we learn about AAU basketball and survival rate with sudden cardiac arrest? Let us remember that sudden cardiac arrest is the leading cause of death in athletics, okay? And we do see a higher prevalence of sudden cardiac arrest in our black athletes, especially our black basketball players. So let's talk about this. This particular study, like I said, came out in 2022 in November. So, I mean, it's, 9 months old, 8 months old. So I would say it's probably some of the most relevant research that's out there. And this particular study says that recent evidence indicates adolescent male basketball players with sudden cardiac arrest are more likely to have a fatal outcome if the arrest occurs during a club-sponsored event versus a school-sponsored event. So what do we know about basketball? What do we know about sudden cardiac arrest? Okay. Again, we know it's the leading cause of death. We know that outside the hospital, sudden cardiac arrest has around a 7 to 10% survival rate. What we know about athletic sudden cardiac arrest or athletic-related sudden cardiac arrest is that survival rate is around 48%, 49%. If we include an athletic trainer into that equation, that number goes up to 83%. And if we include an athletic trainer and an AED, it is 90% chance of survival from an athletic-related sudden cardiac arrest. Okay? So another stats here, a few other stats that we talk about. Survival from SCA in adolescent basketball players was lower for cases occurring in club events. 38.5% survival rate in club basketball compared to a 70.6% survival rate in school-sponsored basketball. Bystander CPR was started 53.9% of the time in AAU compared to 91.2% in school. And AED use was 30.8% compared to 79.4% in school. So, parents, you're paying a lot of money for AAU basketball. You need to ask the question, do they have an athletic trainer present? Do they have an emergency action plan present? Is there an AED present? And is all of that readily available? Now, let's define readily available. When we talk about sudden cardiac arrest, we talk about an AED, we talk about being able to run from the patient, get the AED, and have it back at the patient in less than 3 minutes. Okay, some say less than 2, some say less than 2.5, less than 3. All right, so if we're at a big facility with 25, 30 courts and they have one AED, can they get an AED to that person readily available quickly? Is an athletic trainer readily available to respond? You need to find these answers out, and you need to start demanding it for the well-being of your student athlete. Okay, remember the leading cause of death in student athletes is sudden cardiac arrest. And while It is 90% survivable when things are done correctly, and there still is that 10%. We understand that. We can do something about it. We must do something about it. While we're at it, I encourage you to go online. I'm gonna plug Stephanie's work, the Courier Journal out of Louisville, Kentucky, and Safer Sidelines. I really encourage you to check that out. You can find that on Twitter, hashtag Safer Sidelines. You can Google that. Like I said, Stephanie has done an amazing job of looking at school-related, athletic-related fatalities and policies and procedures based out of Kentucky, but I think the data is really worth looking at regardless of where you're at around the country. So that is my plug for her. Stephanie is amazing with her sports safety and advocacy for athletic trainers. So I'll make sure to put that in there. But I encourage you to start asking questions of your coaches, of your leagues, of the places that you play. This is specific to basketball, to AAU basketball, but you can also look at that club soccer, select baseball, club volleyball, whatever the case might be. Ask your coaches, ask your league, what are they doing to protect your student athlete? This is today's Hopper Hot Take. I hope you guys have a great day. Stay cool out there if you're in the South. I heard on the radio today that yesterday or the day before, I think it was July 3rd, was the hottest day on record ever in America. So, and I'm sorry, not in America, in the world. So really stay cool. Stay inside if you can. Be smart when you go to practice outside. But again, I encourage you, find out where the AED is, find out where the athletic trainer is. Take care of your kids in that way. You guys have a great day, and we will see you soon.